My mic was muted. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last workshop of this week, not the last workshop of the whole hackathon. My name is Sean. If you're familiar enough with me already, I've been hosting the last few hackathons. If this is your first hackathon workshop with us, welcome. Today with me, I have G from Third Web. She is the lead success engineer over at Third Web, who will be giving us the presentation on the fastest way to build an app, monetize it, and scale to millions. So before we move on to what everyone is here for the benefit of those that are watching this stream for the very first time and wondering what the heck is the Kaya Wave Stablecoin Summer Hackathon and what is Kaya, what is Kaya Wave, what just generally, I do have very quick slides to do a very quick overview. So I'll just very quickly run through this. So the Kaya Wave Stablecoin Summer Hackathon is Kaya's global flagship hackathon. Even though technically it's our second one, it's the first ever global flagship hackathon that we're doing as Kaya. If you want to find out more information, you can scan the QR code on the corner. So essentially, we do have a 1 million prize pool in total. So a bit more details is that we kicked off this event at WebEx on August 25th. It will run until next Wednesday. So you guys have less than 5 days to submit your build. The final demo day will be in person at Token 2049 in Singapore on September 30th, a day before the actual event. But um, we opened the registration on August 7th, and the total prize pool is about 1 million in total. The direct prize pool is about 165K, of which 50% will be unlocked upon project launch. So we're doing a bit different this hackathon because we want the projects to launch the mini app online essentially. So when you win the hackathon, you get 50%. Only when you launch the remainder 50, when you launch on our mainnet, because we'll be giving you a bunch of accelerators and a bunch of marketing support, everything, because all the winners will go directly into Kaya Wave Season 2. So this is just a general overview. As I mentioned, we kicked off the ceremony. We launched it on August 4th, actually. And then we had a kickoff ceremony at WebEx. The submission is due, as I said, next Wednesday. We have the finals. We have the finalist announcement, the top 5 who will actually come to Singapore. We will support a small stipend for all the teams to fly in. I'm not allowed to disclose how much the stipend is, but it's not that small actually. So we will support teams to fly in if the finalists, we have a budget set aside for you guys. So on September 30th, it will be all in one. So the live demo, the closing ceremony, as well as the winners announcement. So you will get to hold a giant check with the amount. And I think our CEO Sam will shake your hand or whatever, fun things like that. Yeah. So very quickly, for those of you who want to submit, hey, I want to submit, what do I need to do? Right, so these are the submission requirements. We only need 4 things. First one is obviously a DeFi protocol related and infra related to the Kaya stablecoins and ecosystem assets. Essentially, just a link to the GitHub plus UI plus dev demo. Because as you probably are aware, one of the co-hosts of the sponsor is Tether. So obviously stablecoins. The second, obviously, it has to be a mini app online messenger because the other co-host is Line Next, right? So similarly, it's the same thing. You just need the UI plus dev demo. Thirdly, we require a dashboard on Dune Analytics built for the DeFi use cases submitted. Basically, just create the Dune dashboard and submit the public dashboard in the DoraHacks page. Lastly, a pitch deck, which we require you to submit a DocSend link. This is because we don't want to. This is mostly a security thing, and we don't want to deal with many different formats of pitch decks. Some people might submit Google Drive, some people might submit PDFs. We don't want to. We just want to keep it simple. Just create a DocSend account, upload it. It's a free account anyway, so just upload it, and we'll get it settled. That's it for the submission requirements. So one last thing I'd like to stress before I move on to the next slide is please do submit your build at any time. From now, you can actually just go and fork something off GitHub and just submit it as code. And then you can finalize it on September 17th. This is because the last hackathon we did with the Korean hackathon, we basically had a number of participants come to us. They waited until the very last second, as usual, a lot of people do, to submit, and then they encountered errors. So, as you know, and one other thing I will stress as well is we will not extend the hackathon by a few minutes for a few participants. So please do submit your build anytime from now until the deadline. And then you can obviously change the submissions and finalize it later on 17th itself. So please do not wait until the very last minute. Otherwise, because we will not be extending the deadline just for a couple people. So yeah, if you're curious about those people who weren't able to submit, yeah, they didn't submit at all. They forgo the entire hackathon. So please do at least submit something first, and then you can finalize it. So this is my last slide. Essentially, if you want to find out more information, just scan the QR code right now. The whole we have 3 pillars for this hackathon, right? So build DeFi mini dApps with Kaya native USDT/stablecoins. Go from hack to live launch with direct support. So as I mentioned earlier, all the winners and finalists will go on to directly to Kaya Wave Season 2. If you're familiar enough, Kaya Wave Season 1 was a very successful Season 1 with, I think we had over 100 mini dApps launch with we of the I think over 200 million total line users. We encapsulated over 100 million, over half. So I think it's pretty good. Not it, and that was just season 1. So this is not just a weekend hack. This is your stage to ship real products on Kaya and our messengers. So this is your chance to basically build the next unicorn, right? So I think that's all the slides I have for my end. I'll hand it off to G, who will then talk to basically what everyone is here to listen about the third web workshop, not me ramble on about the hackathon. All right, so G, please take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Well, my name is G, or Giselle. G is just easier. I'll be talking a little bit of an overview of what Third Web is and our tools, how you can use it, how you can integrate it with your apps, and especially how useful it could be for the hackathon, of course. So, first of all, I'm going to be showing up a quick presentation on mainly like the theory or explaining a little bit like our products. And after the presentation, I'll jump into our documentation, a few examples, some of the code that I've been working on so you can see like in real time how it works. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll go ahead and share my screen now. If you cannot see or anything is too small, just let me know and I'll make sure to fix it up. But I think you can all see my screen, right? So Third Web, we have been going through a lot of changes lately. Our mission at the moment is like being the fastest way to build an app, monetize the app, and then scale to millions. That's basically what we've been working on like tirelessly in the last few months, and like the whole team just working on this mission. Basically, what is Third Web for the ones who don't know? We're a complete open source, full stack developer platform and tools that we use on chain to build on chain apps, games, agents, DeFi apps, consumer apps, any type of app that you want to build on chain. We have all type of products for that. And one good thing is like we're completely open source, so you can like look us up on GitHub and you can see like our full stack basically open. You can see the code. You can even create PRs if you like collaborating with open source projects. Some of the things that we have at the moment, which are very, very useful for developers, especially for hackathons where I know people don't have like as much time, you need to build something quick, you need a really good demo. We have some SDKs available on different languages, whether you're using like, TypeScript, React. We also have React Native if you're building a native app, mobile app. If you're building a game, we have Unity, we have .NET, we have Unreal for those type of like people who are into gaming. We actually release our new APIs, which are super fast. We released this like maybe 2 weeks ago, and we have seen like an increase in usage because it's like just super easy to use and very, very easy to integrate, very fast. We have transactions, we have payments, we have indexers. I'll be explaining a little bit more in details what this means, but so you have an idea of what Third Web is in general. Um, In terms of wallets, of course, any on-chain app, or every time that we talk about like chains, blockchain, like onboarding, we have a bunch of options for wallets and onboarding. This is one of the things that we strive the most. Is like we want to make apps that are easy to onboard people, even people from Web2 that have no idea of what blockchain is. Maybe you want to have like a consumer app, a DeFi app. We have all sorts of smart wallets that you can sign in or log in with email, with phone, with any type of social, with passkeys, and connect users to your app very, very easily, as well as the option of connecting external wallets like the normal Web3 way. We also have something called in-app wallet or embedded wallet, which are non-custodial, really similar. You can onboard people using email, phone, any type of social, and basically people won't even realize that they're creating a wallet in the background. And as I mentioned before, we support more than 500 external wallets, like all the common ones. You can install them, you can use them in your app, you can have a selection of them, or you can just like select few of them. Whatever type of app you want to make, we have all type of wallet and onboarding products to use on your app. Another thing that we work really tirelessly is like account abstraction and smart accounts, which I briefly mentioned. So we work with smart accounts because we believe that this improve the UX of your app. So, basically Web3 still kind of like a niche industry, right? And if you want to do a DeFi app or a consumer app that like you want to, scale to the masses, smart accounts are perfect for that. You can basically have people onboarded in matters of seconds with just using an email. Like email is one of the most common ways of like logging in into any type of app. And account abstraction is super cool because like, and I'll go to this next slide, which talk a little bit about this. Um, we basically work with chains and paymasters to make apps gasless. What this means is like the UX is really improved. You can basically onboard your users, and your users every time they're doing a transaction, they don't even have to pay for gas because Paymaster pays for that, or the owner of the app or the project will pay for that. This is a really good thing that I feel like people are using a lot in this industry at the moment. In the past, like maybe like a few years ago, this didn't exist basically. And every user had to open a wallet, had to have some funds in that wallet to pay for gas, which, it was like a few steps in order to do a transaction. Now, in a matter of like one click, any user can do a transaction, and it's like completely gasless. UX is improved. So I'll encourage you guys to like check this out for your demos and your apps idea, which I think is improving a lot the user experience. Feel free to like interrupt me if there are any questions. I see that one of the lanes is like DeFi apps as well, and we have a brand new like payments SDK and API that are super great. Basically, you can do transfer, you can do token sales, you can do swaps, bridging with any type of chain token. This makes it super easy to build DeFi apps and any type of like payment shop, marketplace, any type of things that require payment. um, and I'll show a little bit more in detail the APIs that we have, but we support all type of flows. So again, we work with different languages: React, TypeScript, API. We support different flows with external wallet, which is more like Web3 wallets, but we also do gas sponsorship for payments when it comes to like smart wallets. And then together with that transactions SDK, which is quite similar. So then like when it comes to payments, you will have to do a bunch of transactions, especially on a DeFi app. For example, like you have many users using the app, swapping, bridging, doing a bunch of transactions. We have a really cool SDK and API for these. And it's very simple. You just need to, define your chain ID, where it's coming from, where it's going to, what's the value, and then you have it. Really nice as well for tracking and monitoring. So every time that you're building an app, obviously you want to monitor and track all the transactions and payments that are happening in your app and which users are coming from. So this makes it super easy to track and monitor those transactions and those payments, which is a great addition to, the UX and the management of the app and the idea or the project. One of the things that we're really famous for is contracts. So we have a bunch of contracts that are pre-built and audited already. I'll be showing a bit of which of the contracts we have. We work with some of the most popular ones, let's say. And we have like two ways of deploying contracts for with ThirWeb, or let's say three ways. So you can go and deploy a contract like no code on our dashboard. So the first thing you need to do, go to therweb.com, log in, open an account for free, and you will have, a bunch of options when it comes to payments, when it comes to contracts, anything that you want to do. And you can select any type of contract that you want to deploy, select the chain that you want to use, and then deploy directly from the dashboard and from our UI without needing to do any code. If you are more into, smart development of contracts and everything, we have a CLI, which is great. You can install on your local machine, use your favorite code editor, and we have our open source repo, which have all our contracts there. You can customize all our contracts and then deploy it to ThirWeb. The deployment will verify the contract on the chain, and it's super easy to do. As I said, we have pre-built contracts that you can just customize, and you can add functions, you can add conditions, anything that you want to do with that. The CLI, it's super quick, super easy to use. And also we now have our new API, which is really great for programmatic deployments. So for example, let's say you're building a sort of app that you want users to deploy their own contract, their own tokens, or whatever it is, like could be NFTs, could be anything. The API is a great way of using that. So you can basically create some logic to programmatically deploy different type of contracts, and they will be auto-verify, added to your own dashboard at ThirWeb, and you can see all the analytics of that contract, and it will be great. I will show the dashboard in a little bit as well after the presentation. This is how it looks like our contract explorer. You can see this is obviously just a screenshot, but you can see like some of our most popular ones are like NFT drops, marketplace contract, account factory, minting, edition drop, tokens. So if you want to create like an ERC token, ERC20 token, you can do so as well. And then when it comes to those that want to, do it by code, do it on your local machine, you don't want to use the dashboard, I will recommend running the CLI. And just by doing npx ThirWeb deploy, you can choose the contract that you want, customize it, and then deploy it to ThirWeb, and it will be auto verify and everything. This is a great tool. Like obviously building on chain, you will have to have a bunch of contracts depending on the logic of the app or the type of project that you're trying to build. But contracts is something that we work a lot on, and that we have many, many options for you to kind of check out there. So that's kind of an overview of some of the tools that we have at the moment and the things that we have been working really tirelessly in the last few months. So I'm going to jump into showing a little bit of our documentation. I know as a developer myself, like one of the first things that we do when we want to integrate some new technology is like I go to the docs. Sometimes docs can be complex, like many information and everything. So I'll be showing a little bit of our docs. So hopefully for the sake of the hackathon as well, it would be easier. I think you can see my screen here. So this is our docs, basically portal.therweb.com. In here, we have all our documentation for all our products. So you can see a bit of our backend APIs. We have our client side components, like we work with different languages, as I said before, extensive documentation of all our products, and our new actually AI section, which is great for, I know vibe coding right now is like a huge thing. Even for myself, I've been using Cursor a lot, and I feel like it's improving everything. Um, so we have really good AI products for the ones who are building with AI. We have LLMs, we have MCPs. You can even inject our APIs into your code to make it easier to use. And like basically, you will have all our documentation, all our APIs into your code. Very, very easy for the ones who are into AI at the moment, which I'm sure it's a lot of people. As you can see on the top menu, we have like all our products by section, right? And then on the right side, we have our AI products that you can explore. We have our SDKs by languages, our APIs, and few different tools that you can explore, right? Change logs as well. This is a great one to have a look if you're a fan of their web. Basically, here our engineer team releases almost like weekly new features, new things that we're adding on, new products. So it's a good way of staying on top of like what it's their web team building. Like just check out the change log. It's great. So then I won't go in so much detail in here, but just an overview. So if you want to integrate their web, you know where to start. Basically, depending of the product that you are looking to use. So you will, for example, go into wallets, right? And we have a bunch of different wallets. We have like user wallets, which, as I mentioned, we have different type of authentication methods. You can use our API, which is super simple to use. You can use TypeScript, React, create the client. I'll be showing how to get your client ID as well, which is one of the main things that you need to integrate their web. We also have what we call server wallets, which are a great thing to use when it comes to, an app that you want to scale and you need to do like many transactions at the same time. This is great for gaming. This is great for DeFi. People are using this a lot for things that you need hundreds of transactions at the same time. And as I talked before, we also have, of course, external wallet support, ecosystem wallet, a sponsor, gas. This is what I was talking about before. So basically, if you want to build an app that has like a really great UX and you don't want your users to be paying for gas, you want your users to just, in a few clicks here and there, buy, do a transaction, you don't need to have even funds or anything, I recommend looking into our sponsor gas feature, which is really, really great. Again, available in different languages. We also have sell NFTs with Stripe. So we have Stripe as a third party company that we use for. And this is great for the ones who are, for example, doing an online shop or a marketplace and you want to sell a product, like a real product, kind of like imagine a Shopify. You can kind of build a Shopify, but like blockchain in the background. And your users can pay with credit card using third web parties like Stripe and others. So this is great for the ones who are thinking of, building a shop or something, and your audience maybe is not Web3 native. Your audience is like completely Web2. They have no idea about NFTs or anything. I will say check this out. Really great for those type of examples. And again, available in all these languages, whether you're building like a React native app, we have a bunch of components and everything that you need to build that. Transactions as well is a great one. I mentioned that before. It goes along with wallets, of course, because you need to first onboard with a wallet and then do a transaction. One of the great things is like you can monitor and get notified about every single transaction that you have in your project. And this is great because when you're building an app and you want to scale that app, you want to know like, who is doing the transaction, where is it coming from, how can I monitor, how can I get alerts if there's an error, if there's something. So this is a great one. Contracts, I already spoke a little bit about contracts. Actually, we have a list of contracts here at thirdweb.com Explore, where you can basically go ahead and launch your own ERC20 or your NFT collection, or you can choose from other contracts that we have available. As you can see, all of them are audited already, so very safe to use. Even if you want to customize them, that's fine. You can customize them and then deploy them to using our SLA. So I would say go and explore the type of contracts that we have there. They're great. And in here in the documentation, basically we explain how to interact with that contract. So we have a few very simple functions that you can do to interact with that. You know, you get your contract, you define your chain ID, you read that contract, and then you interact with that contract, whether that is for preparing a transaction, sending a transaction, selling NFTs, any type of contract event that you want to do. We have different type of examples here that you can explore. Then, as I see, DeFi is one of the things that the hackathon is looking for. Payments, as I mentioned before, it's really great SDK that we have at the moment. I recommend checking this out. Payment is great. You can do all sorts of things, like you can do swaps, you can do token sales, you can do bridging, just by using basically our webhooks. So we have like phone wallets. I'll be showing our playground how it works actually. We have different components like the buy widget that you can use, and it's very simple. You can sell a product with our checkout widget here, um, pay for a transaction, send payments, sell a token, swap. You can do a bunch of things, and this is really, really great for DeFi apps. Um, Same of the tokens. If you're looking to deploy some tokens or anything, like I would advise, get into tokens and see the ones that we have available. So you can see here on the left side, we have like a bunch of tokens and contracts, smart contracts available that you can look at, like staking, for example, is a really good one that people use, airdropping, and a bunch of things. Then to the API reference, this is something I've been mentioning a lot. This is our brand new Third Web API. Before, we used to be very focused on our SDK, which is actually great. I use it a lot as well when I'm building demos and stuff, like our SDK is just here. But now we have Third Web API. This is super cool because it's just so easy to use and integrate into your app. And not only that, but it's very, very fast. Like really, it's just like super fast, super scalable. You can do all sorts of things like wallet management, transactions, bunch of things with the SDK, with the API. You can see on the left menu, we have a few options to show you. So for example, the first one would be like authentication, which is like how do you onboard people into your app? How do you easily onboard people into your app? So we have, different methods to initiate the auth. So, depending of your audience, you can use phone number, you can use email address, you can use like every type of social media like X, Farcaster, like anything that you want. And we explain everything here. You can even test it here, actually. If you go to test and you input the information that you want, you can send that and test it even without integrating. So you can see how it works. So that's when it comes to authentication. But we also have other things like get my wallet, list user wallets, for example, like if you're trying to render and manage user base wallets, for example, create user wallets. So you can even with the API, you can create for your users different type of wallets, and you can use all type of methods that we have here. So yeah, I would recommend checking out our API. It's very complete, very extensive. We have also like contracts, deploy contracts programmatically, as I was saying before, and you can see all the get and post here that you can use to read and write. Um, Everything to do with transactions, everything here. You can test it locally. You don't even need to do any code. You can just input what you need and test it. And we, of course, have payment, complete payment, tokens, and bridge. This is great. This I've been using this a lot, and I'll be showing one kind of like demo that I built in 10 minutes with Cursor, which is crazy, using our API. Yeah, this is just what I show you. I think this is just white, but I'll close this. So I'll jump in our playground. Our playground is like one of my favorite things that we have. You can go there right now by just going to playground.terweb.com. So what is Playground? Basically, it's an interactive UI with all our products in here, and they are like live products that you can test, right? So basically, like as I was explaining, we have like different type of wallets and onboarding methods. So you can go to our playground, and if you're not sure what type of product you want to use, you want to explore third web, or like, you want to like explore it fast and test it fast, I will recommend go to our playground. So for example, in here, we're just showing our connect button, which is a component that we have, and you can see the code here. It's a very simple code. It's just like connect button, it's a model. You can actually define which type of wallets you want. You can define which type of auth methods you want. And this is how the model looks like. One cool thing about the playground is that you can basically interact with this. So let's say that you don't want any of these methods. You just deselect that. And I'm like, okay, I only want Google. I only want Google. I don't want anything else. I only want people to log in with Google or connect a wallet. You can do so. And then it will look like this. You connect your wallet. Okay, it brought me to another screen. You connect your wallet here, or you connect with Google. Let's see if I can connect with Google a bit easier. My internet is slow. Okay, I might leave it to not be taking too much time. But yeah, I recommend like go to Playground and test it out. We have like few different methods to connect wallets and everything, headless as well. So maybe you don't want to use like our model that I know it looks a certain way, but you want to create like your own UI, you can do so as well. We have like different components to do that and connect that. Like in here, we're just showing like a super simple um, connect button, but like we have a bunch of examples to basically um, do it headless without having to use our model. And yeah, some other things like social profiles, ENS if you're looking for that, um, authentication with JWT authentication token. This one is a great one. I think a lot of people use this in their backend. So this is a good one to check if you want to have like a user base, or you want to have like your user safe somewhere. So yeah, go ahead and test all our things. Like basically everything that I've been kind of like explaining, all our products are here at the moment, and you can just try them on and see how they work, right? Payments, buy crypto here. This one is a good one as well. This is our most like DeFi component, I would say. Like in here, you can buy crypto, you can do swaps, you can do checkout with credit cards, with like, anything that you want. For example, like, um, you can use Transact. Depending on the region, we work with like 3 providers. So the main provider we work with is Stripe, but we also work with Coinbase and Transact. And it depends of the region they will appear. You can see like for my region, I'm in Spain at the moment. I can use any of the 3 to basically buy crypto with that. Or you can connect another wallet, a different wallet, to buy a certain token or something. So basically you will choose the chain, choose the token that you want to buy, and then go to the flow and do that. So that's for transactions. DeFi and different components that we have at the moment. Um, I want to go ahead and show a little bit of our dashboard, which it also have been changing a lot. So for some of you that maybe used their web in the past, our dashboard completely changed, and we've been like upgrading the dashboard. Um, I think in the past you used to be able to maybe deploy contracts and stuff, but like now you can do so many things just by using the dashboard, which is really, really great. So you just have to go to thirdweb.com, log in and create an account. And once you create your account, you will see the team overview. So exactly what I'm seeing here in this screen, team overview. You can see that I have a bunch of projects, but that's because I'm always obviously building with their web. Um, but the way it works is like the first thing you have to do, this will be empty, right? And the first thing that you have to do to integrate their web with your project, especially when using the SDK, is you go ahead and create a project. So let's say I'm doing testing for workshop. So I'll do this, name your project. If you're just testing and doing a demo, you can allow all domains. We do have some advice here that if you have an actual domain, you can just like restrict that just by your domain, just for security if you want to. But if you're just testing and building demos, like you can just click on allow all domains, and then you will see um, that this will create what we call our API keys, right? So this is the main thing that you will need to integrate their web with your own code, your own app. So we have two things. We have the client ID, which is what we interact in the front end, right? So this will be your client ID for that particular project. And then we have what we call our secret key. This goes more for the applications on the backend, as it says here. So basically what you need to do is like save these in a really safe place. Do not expose your secret key ever. If it's just for testing, it's fine because you're just doing a test. But if you're going to production, if you're scaling your project, one of the things that I always say, and people make mistakes on this when it comes to security, is like, don't expose your keys on Vercel or like your code or anything like that. Try to keep them as secure as possible. But again, if you're just like building a demo for the sake of the hackathon, you're testing, it's fine. You can, save them in your notes, and that's fine. Once you go into production, you can create a new project and then put those keys in a safe place, basically. So once you go through like saving your keys and everything, you go to view project, and you will see an overview of your project. So now we're inside the testing for workshop project that I just created, right? And you can see we have like the API key, so the client key. If you lost the secret key, you can rotate that and create a new one. And then you'll see a few examples of like how to integrate, right? So like if when it comes to our API, you just need to fetch this basically and add your key here. That's all you need to do. If you're creating a TypeScript or a React app, you will need to create a client for it and read that client ID. This you can basically save in your environment variables and in your EVM files, so like it makes them more secure. And then when you scroll down here, you just see a bunch of options, like what you can do with that, how can you create a full stack application with us, and a few different things. Another really cool thing about this is like when you're building with TerWeb, we have added a lot of like analytics and information for the user, right? So basically, if you're onboarding people into your app, you will see the amount of active users, new users that you have. Obviously, this is like a brand new project that I created, so there's no information. Um, you will see a graphic on like the amount of users that are in your app, whether they're unique, and also in here you will see a list of users. And not only that, you will see the list of users and how did they create the account. So you will see basically the wallet address, if they use an external wallet, if they create it by email, and which login method they use, basically. You also have the option to download this information, this database, which is great for when you're basically managing your own app. Same with transaction. So basically with transactions, you can send, monitor, and manage all the transactions like in one place. And you will see all the transaction histories here, whether they are like queue transactions, successful or not. And you can create server wallets, which is a great addition that we have. So this is basically for scaling your product. You will create like different server wallets that will do different actions. Like it could be, payments, transaction. If you're creating like a reward system, the server wallet can do that for you, and you will have all the information here. Then when it comes to contracts, you just go here to contracts. You can import your own contract. So like, let's say you created a contract, like a customized contract, you can import by just putting the contract address and selecting the chain, and the contract will appear in the dashboard. If not, you can deploy your own contract here. As I said before, like you can launch a coin, you can create an NFT collection. In here, they're just gonna ask to select your project. You can see I have like so many projects, but it's because I'm always building something. So you just select the project where you want to create that contract. And then all you have to do is fill up the information, right? So like, what's the name of the token? What's the symbol? What's the chain? And you go through all the steps to do that. Let's see if I can, you can upload an image, of course, and then you will see, that then you can add anything to do with the supply of that token, like it will say like the airdrop, the owners, scaling strategy, everything to do with like tokenomics, which is really, really great for DeFi apps. And then, once you have all the information, you can just keep going to next and launch your coin. And this is a great thing that we have at the moment. Like you can basically do all of this on the UI, and then you can go to your code, you can interact with that contract, and you can build your app whatever way you want, basically. When it comes to payments as well, we have really cool options. For example, I'll show one option that I really like, which is create a payment link. This is super useful. Testing workshop. I'm gonna put, and wait, I'll put my own address here, just so I show you how easy. And hopefully this works and it's not like in usually demos. Ooh, I don't know if I have fonts. Actually, I think I don't have fonts in this wallet. But basically you can create like a payment link here, select a token, right? And then the amount. Let's see if I can create it. Oh yeah, I think I had some fonts, like, but I don't know how. Yeah. You can create that payment link, and basically it's here. So you see your payment link is created, and you can copy this payment link and give it to someone. Let's see if I can display it here. So basically I created this payment link. You can create it with Kaya, of course. I was going to show like this is our page for Kaya mainnet. Like feel free to use it. You can buy here tokens and everything. You have the chain ID. You can deploy contracts. We have all type of services activated with Kaya, which is really great. So everything that I've been talking about, you can do so. Payments, AI, transaction, account abstraction. So like you just need to go ahead and start building and trying things up. And then basically for the payment link, you all you have to do is like create the link and share this with someone, and they will basically buy and pay you, which is great. Like if you're trying to do some sort of app that like collects payment or something like that, or you need to pay someone, creating payment links is like a super easy way of doing that. And you can create a bunch, right? Just by following the steps here. And we have other options as well that you can explore there. So yeah, I recommend, as you can see, we have many new things in the dashboard, many things that you can do inside the dashboard. I recommend like going into there, exploring all the options. You know, we have the account abstraction, we have a bunch of things at the moment. And this is really, really useful for basically building your app super quickly. Let me show you some examples as well. Let me close some of these tabs. So I know for hackathons, like, you know, you won't be like, well, I wouldn't recommend coding from scratch. Like I would say like get a starter, get an example of what type of thing you want to do and start from there. I know sometimes in hackathons you don't have like so much time to like so many days, or depending of like how fast the hackathon is, like you want to build something and you want to build like a great demo. So one thing that I wanted to share with all of you is the third web examples repo. Basically just go to GitHub, third web example. I can actually share with you guys like all of these links after. I'm sure like Sean can help me out with sharing that. But basically in here we have a lot of starter repositories that you can just clone and like try it out. We have a bunch of things, like we have smart wallets, we have like gaming ones, stable pay if you're looking for like something to do with DeFi. This one is a really cool one. Uh, Pixel place art if you want to get creative. This is basically every time you place a pixel, you earn tokens and you sign in with your Twitter. We have a bunch of things. AI wallet manager. This one is a great one as well. I would say like go and explore this type of thing. And the smart wallet that I wanted to show, yeah, the smart wallet is this one. But in general, go and explore our examples. We also have gaming things, which are great. And as you can see, we have other more like simple ones, like if you're using like Next.js, if you want to see how account abstraction works, if you're using WAGMI or any other type of thing. When it comes to contracts, we also have a few starters. Um, and this one here is are just like brand new using our API, so they're really great to explore. Everything open source, you can just select one, clone it to your code editor and start using it. This one is actually one that I did with Cursor, like literally in 10 minutes. And it's just an app that uses our API. I'll show the code a little bit. I know this might be small, so I'll try and make it a bit bigger. Maybe like this, you can see. I won't be like coding here. I'm just wanting to show for all the dev how it works. So you can see like on the left side is the classic, you know, project structure that you can see there. Like we have components. I'm using React. I'm using TypeScript. This is basically my third web API file where you can see I'm calling the API here. And I'm doing a few different things. I did this with Cursor. And basically what I did was use, you know, authentication endpoints. So you can see I'm using both of them, post to initiate and complete authentication. And I'm only using email for this particular one. And then I'm using these get ones to basically manage the wallets that are inside of my app. This is like a super simple example, but like obviously you can, this is open source, by the way, you can clone it and like extend it as much as you want. For security, I'm doing JWT token management together with the API and stuff. And you can see here is like super simple. So one of the things that I wanted to show is like you always need, you know, your client ID and your secret key, which is what I explained before, to initiate basically our tools into your code. So that's the only thing you need. I have like an example here, like basically when you initiate this, that's all you need. And then what I wanted to show you is like I have a simple auth. Of course, in here I'm console logging everything because this is just like a test app. And you can see how basically I'm fetching from the API, really simple post, passing my client ID, and doing different type of things with that, complete authentication in here, and then everything to do with managing the wallet. It's very basic, very easy to use. If you're using something like Cursor or Claude or anything like that, or even our own LLM, this is super simple to install and to use in a matter of minutes, basically. Um, what this app does is basically you log in with your email. So, you know, any person can log in with their email. Your users, you will get a verification code. So let's.
Hello, Giselle. Your audio cut off.
Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
think
me?
chat just yes.
Oh, okay. Thanks for
I
letting
think
me
your
know.
audio cut off like about 2 minutes ago, maybe. Yeah, so if you can like maybe go back a bit. Yeah, all right, thanks.
Okay, so, but you can hear me now, right? So basically, what I was explaining, I was just trying to log in into into my app, and I couldn't get the right code. But once you log into the app, which is the app that I'm showing you here, like simple get and fetch our API, basically. Um, you can basically see the wallets that connected to the app, how they were created, like which was the email. This is just like a super simple starter for you to like clone and get started with wallet management. And then in here you can see like all users. So if it's a matter that you're building like a DeFi app or consumer app that you need user management, um, you can also basically see that in this particular app, I have two users that have login, which obviously is me because I created this app. No one else have used it. And you can basically copy the address, see when the account was created, see the email. And basically, if you had a more extensive app, obviously you will then, want to like look for that. I don't, maybe this one works or not. I'm not sure. But basically, in here is the repo that I'll be sharing for sure. Oh no, this is not bringing me to repo. But anyway, you can see all the repositories here. We have a bunch of things. So I recommend like having a look. Here's the repo. You can clone it by just cloning here and downloading into your local machine. In here, usually all the repos that we build as examples, we explain what it is, what we're using, how to run it, how to start. You can see here um, the API endpoints that I use for this specific app, and everything, a bunch of other kind of information there. But yeah, I think with that, I would say I will leave it there. I think I've gave a lot of information, and if you want to look up, go to chain list as well. If you want to look up Kaya chain, basically, and you will see it there, and you'll be able to use it, deploy contracts, do a bunch of things, do payments. Um, I want to open up for questions as well. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. I think the last thing I'll share is that if you want to be part of our community, um, we have a pretty great Telegram official group. So if you're into Telegram, I would say go ahead and join the Telegram group. We're always very active there, helping people where they're having issues. We give news there of new things that we're doing, events, everything. We also, of course, have a Twitter account that we're very active, a YouTube account, which is really, really great for the some of you that want to maybe see um, tutorials and everything. We have a bunch of tutorials, like a lot. We even have one for line mini apps, which I think I saw in the hackathon. So if you want to create a line mini app with her web, I recommend that. um, and yeah, with that, I'll open up for questions. I hope this was helpful, and I tried to show as much as I could, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a couple questions from chat. Let me just reorganize this thing here
Perfect.
because I think it's just have our faces bigger is a lot better. So I will just display the questions and I'll read them out. But obviously you'll read it up for you as well. So the first question is regarding session keys. For session keys with the third web client on Kaya, what's your recommended policy for scope/TTL binding, chain ID, target contract, function selectors to prevent replay and privilege creep?
Yeah, that's a very specific question for session keys. I would say, like, in our documentation, we have a section for session keys and like best practices for security. Go ahead and read that. And if you have any doubts, um, please reach out to us. Like, my DMs are always open, or you can reach out in the Telegram group. Our engineers are all there. We have an engineer that works specifically for session keys, and I'm sure he will be super happy to explain when it comes to policies. But yeah, chain ID, target contract, like all of that, it's really secure, honestly, and like really big apps use session keys and there has never been a problem. But we do have some sections in our documentation about security that explains, like, in more detail our policies and how everything works.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there were some people asking on our Discord as well regarding session keys. So hopefully, if you're watching this, it's answered here as well. It's all on the third web docs. I will try to find it. If Eric is watching, you want to paste the third web docs in the link in the chat, please go ahead. Yeah, Eric's our ambassador. He's also present here. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. So second question comes from Mello. I think is yep. How flexible are templates if we need unique business logic?
Templates, I guess they mean contracts or templates in general. Like, templates are completely because they're completely open source, you can clone them and put them into your own code editor, and you can add any type of business logic that you want. Like, you can do anything. Like, it's very, very flexible. So anything that you're thinking of, think about it as like the templates are just like a starter template for you to just like have a guide, like a pre-built third web thing. But you are open to customize that, add up your own functions, your own business logic. Like, it's completely open to do that. So yeah, there's no issue with that.
Yeah, hopefully that answers the question, Melo. If you have follow-up question, please do put it in chat. If you want to follow up on anything, we will be happy to. One thing, Giselle G, if you're not familiar, there's a slight like 5 second delay to StreamYard. So that's why
Oh
if
yeah.
you finish it, yeah, there's a slight delay, so that's why it may take a bit of time. So we can answer the next question, the next question first, and then we can move on. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So regarding the third web API, what are the recommended controls around server-side secrets, webhook signature verifications, idempotency? So this is one of the words I was talking about. I can't pronounce this one. It's new to me. And rate limit handling to prevent replay or double spend style effects.
Oh yeah, these are really really good questions. I mean, there's different methods to basically keep your server side secret like a secret. People use all type of other tools like AWS, Google Cloud. Um, you know, I think like it will depend on like which type of service you want to use in the server side to basically keep your API keys secret. When it comes to signature verification, yeah, I also the same. I recommend that you go into our docs and we have a bunch of examples there of how to do a signature verification, what's the function that you need, how even you can test it live. You can see like a signature that's successful and all that. And then rate limiting is a good one because like we have different plans. I think I forgot to show this, but if you go to thirdweb.com/pricing, you will see that we have I think 4 or 5 different plans at the moment. Depending of the plan that you're on, you will have different credits and rate limiting, right? So it depends of like how many calls are you doing. Is it thousands of calls, hundreds of calls, millions of calls? Like it depends. Each of the plans comes with different type of credits. And yeah, basically I think we have a pretty good error handling for rate limits. And even in the dashboard it will alert you that like you're close to your rate limit when it comes to like calls or doing whatever you're trying to do. We are giving out, actually this is a good opportunity to say we are, and we want to give also coupons for builders, for Kaya builders. So please reach out to me, or you and Mission can maybe get a list of builders and I will make sure that everyone gets a coupon. I think we're giving out a 2 or 3 months coupon for you to try our growth plan, which is like our second plan that we have. And it's great. It has really great rate limiting. You can kind of like basically try on different RPC calls, API calls, a bunch of things. um how to prevent this, like I think this would be a logic in the UI as well that you have to kind of manage, like in that's just my personal opinion. Like on our side, on our tools, we will alert you that you're reaching your rate limit. But it's always a really good UX practice that if that is happening, have good error handling in the UI, that people know like, oh, why is this happening? Why is the transaction not going? Am I hitting my rate limit? So I would say like research into error handling and that logic in the front end, as well as like us always. We will always email you, and in your dashboard you will see that we will tell you like you're hitting or you're nearly hitting your rate limit, basically.
Ooh, I think you got chat all excited about giving out the coupons. Someone's already asking where they sign up. Okay, cool. I think Asux did have a follow-up question to this question. They usually do. So yeah, I'll just display it right now. Any sample middleware you suggest at the edge?
Middleware. I'm not sure if I can think of some example that we have at the moment, actually. But I can come back to that. I'll ask our engineers if we have one example. I cannot think of one at the moment because we've been focusing a lot on the API examples in the last 2 weeks. But let me see if I can find it, and I'll make sure to share with you, Sean, so you can share with builders. Um, any example, because that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is that on this actual stream, you can actually like reply to it below. So if you ask your question below, I'm sure the third web like account will go ahead and reply, or G
Yeah,
herself will also go and reply below. So if you can type your question in chat below as well. If you're watching this after the fact and you have any questions, please put them in the as a reply. I think it's on X as a reply. We don't
that's a
have
great
live chat
idea.
available after, yeah. So you can just put your questions below, and then hopefully, if you're watching this before the hackathon is over, we'll still have questions. Then the third web team, I think, will be. I will ping the third web team if there are any questions if they haven't seen it. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
great
I
idea.
think that's all the time we have for today. Like I said, if there are any further questions, please put them in the reply below. It's a weird way how X does their live streams at this point, but we're making do. Right. So as I said, I will forward all the questions that I have to G and to the third web team. Then we can get those questions answered. You can also push all the questions over to Discord, where I think that some of the third web team is already in the Discord server, so you can ping them directly there. I'll make sure G is added and make sure that her account won't be
Yes,
flagged.
please.
Yeah, I'll make sure she's added after this. Then you can go ahead and ask the questions there. I think it's much better than having it's because Discord is a bit more like interactive rather than in addition to having a live stream, right? So it's a lot back and forth rather than having to post something. It's like a forum and you wait and then you're like, oh, kind of thing. So I think Discord is just a bit more interactive in that way. So yeah, so I like to do this thing with all our hackathon workshop panelists. G, do you have any parting words for our hackathon participants?
So some words like I would say like just like go ahead and experiment, like build. I gave a lot of examples, like go and clone them, see how they work, look at the code, deploy your own contracts, deploy a bunch of contracts, like you can also use test nets or anything when it comes to testing. Um, have a great pitch. I feel like demo and pitch is one of the keys for winning hackathons. I participated in so many hackathons before. Um, and yeah, having a great demo that like shows your app, like don't be focusing on landing pages and stuff like that. Just show the app, onboard people to the app, and have a great few minutes pitch deck that you can explain in only 3 minutes, 5 minutes max, like what your app is about. I would say that that's my advice. Please add me to Discord as well. I'll be really happy to help builders integrate with their web, and really looking forward for people to see what they build. I love seeing like the winners, the participants, like what kind of projects are coming out of that. And I'm super happy to give some coupons to Kaya builders. So please, Sean, if anyone is interested, just like give me a list and I'll make sure to give them some coupons to try on our tools.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because we're in the final stretch of the hackathon as well, it'll be the perfect time to go and, try out the third web and see if you can use it to push onto push it to production. I mean, not mainnet, but testnet production at least. Yeah, so I think it's super cool. Thank you so much for showing us all the demos. I mean, thank you, G, for taking your time off your very busy schedule to give us this workshop. I'd like to thank all the hackathon participants as well for paying attention in chat. I think with you mentioning vibe coding, it instigated a whole chat about which is the best LLM and which stuff like that, and in turn got the blame I think for your audio cutting out. So for in turn, anyways, yeah, just a bit of fun in chat. But yeah, thank you so much for giving us that wonderful workshop and so many different examples as well as the demo as well. I think it was very informative for everyone here. So I know you shared you did share the links for all the socials for Third Web earlier, but can you remind me again what's what Third Web's is it at Third Web on X, just like that, right?
Yeah, at their web on
Yeah.
X. Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to follow more of what Third Web has been up to and what G is going to be up to in the next little while here, follow them at Third Web on X, and as well as follow our socials at Bill and Kaya at Kaya Chain on X as well to find out more information about Hackathon, because the Hackathon is ending in at this point less than 5 days. You have the weekend and a little bit more, and then Wednesday is the actual submission date, I believe. Just let me double check that. Yes, the submission deadline is Wednesday. So as I mentioned previously, do not wait until the very last minute. We will not be extending the deadline. for anyone who has errors, who literally wait until like the last second and oh, error, because errors will happen.
Yeah.
So if you wait until like, it's Murphy's law, right? So as I mentioned previously with the Korean hackathon we just had, a number of the some hackathon participants were not able to submit because of the errors. So please do not wait until the yes T-5. Yes, please do not wait until the very last minute. As I mentioned, you can also like submit something first and then you finalize it much later, obviously before September 17th. So as long as you get your submission in, I think that's good for submitting. Um, so we have a few. I mean, also I think there was a few questions on Discord regarding the testnet and mainnet deployments. 100% yes, testnet deployments will be accepted. We do not expect hackathon participants to push onto mainnet, even if it's you need 1 2 Kaya. It's like well, not worth a lot right now, but we don't really want to discuss price. But we don't expect hackathon participants to be pushing anything onto our mainnet for now. Eventually, we do expect the winners to move on to mainnet, but that will only be after we give you the accelerators, and all the extra. We win, and you get the monies to go and push it that further, right? So yeah, so as I mentioned, please do submit early. Also apply for the Minidap SDK. I know that there was some issues with it says on the Minidap portal says the doc says it will take a few weeks. Don't worry, don't worry about that. We are working with Linex to hasten the SDK for hackathon participants, because it is one of the Linex did set one of the requirements to submit the SDK, but if you don't release the SDK to them, it's a bit pointless, right? So fear not, we are working with Linex to release it all very quickly. So that 3 to 4 weeks is honestly just a standard pipeline for most applicants. So no need to worry. Well, yeah, essentially it's a VIP lane because hackathon's only for 4 weeks, right? Even if you apply at the very beginning, there is very little chance if you took 3 to 4 weeks, because Linex is very busy, right? And we'll obviously are always making changes to the SDK, maintaining it. So yeah, I think I've taken up a lot of time already. So yeah, I think we can just end it here. Thank you all for coming to this workshop. I know it's a Friday, but thank you all. And I hope to see you all at the next workshop. I believe we haven't announced it yet, but our next workshop will be next Tuesday. I will still be here. G will be around. I'm sure she will be she'll be active on X as well as our Discord server. So anything, just ping her or ping the third web team. I think we'll set aside a separate tag on our Discord to say if fourth at third web people, just because if they're asking questions, I think that'd be good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll set it up and I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, we can chat on Telegram after, right? Yeah. So
Perfect.
yeah, we can just end it here. Thank you all for coming, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next workshop. And yeah, see you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Good luck.